What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jimmy Talks. I'm excited to make this video. It's something that I think is near and dear to me. And I was actually talking to my brother about this. We're both very big on physical media. And, I was downloading some games the other day, and it reminded me of something that's been on my mind lately. And I think it's something we need to talk about. Owning physical media. Physical media is super important. It's stuff like DVDs, game disc, and actual consoles that you can hold in your hands, and ones that can also read disc specifically, because I know there's a PlayStation 5 that's a digital version only. I would never buy that, and I don't know why anyone would besides it being cheaper. But anyways, in a world where everything's going digital, like streaming services, downloading games, subscriptions like Spotify and YouTube Premium, it might seem like physical media is a bygone era, and it mostly is, but I'm here to tell you it's still important. Maybe now more than ever. So, sorry for my miscommunication and my stumbling of words. I like to record things and go in one edit. I don't like to edit my voice out and all that stuff. It feels more real. But anyways, let's start off with something that is a bit frustrating to deal with, and it's a con of physical media. And that is, it's very hard to find physical copies of certain TV shows or movies, even if you're downloading it. Like, let's say you want to find a really rare copy of an early season of Cops from the 1990s. You might be hard pressed on finding it, and if somebody does have it, they might want to overcharge the fuck out of you for it. So if you've ever wanted to watch something specific, maybe an old show you've loved as a kid or a movie you've been meaning to check out, you'll get what I'm saying. So you go on Netflix and you'll try and find it, only then to realize it's not on any of the streaming services, even if it was before. It's been delisted. It sucks. You check Netflix, you check Hulu, whatever it is that you use, and it's not there. So you think, okay, I'll buy it. And that's what I do anyways for my favorite classic TV shows and movies. But then you go to eBay or Amazon, and some of the prices can be ridiculous, like $40 or $50 for a video game that came out decades ago. I just got Mario Kart for the Wii, and it was $45 at GameStop, and I paid for it because I didn't want to wait. My Wii came in, and I wanted to play a game today, and I didn't have any games. So I know I can find it online cheaper, but it is what it is. And that game came out in 2008, mind you. That's 16 years ago. Wii Sports is the same too. It's still $45, $50. Who's got that kind of money to throw around for old-ass nostalgia games? Well, that is why the price is high. It's because of nostalgia, and they know it. But if it's not available at all online, or the price is too high, what's left? For a lot of people, it's pirating. And I mean, really, what else are you supposed to do at that point? You want to enjoy something, but the legal options are either non-existent or incredibly expensive. It's not the best solution, but it's what people turn to when everything else failed them. And that's a serious problem. That's why I'm a big supporter of physical media. Oh, and don't get me started on how stuff gets censored or changed nowadays. With digital media, companies can tweak things however they want, like cutting scenes out of movies, altering the dialogue, or whatever they want to do to fit their rules or avoid controversy. It's genuinely a slippery slope when you start doing things like that. It's the road to censorship. You're not getting the original version you signed up for with a subscription service, but with a physical copy, though, it's yours, it's unchanged, the way it was meant to be, and no one can take it away from you. Now, I'm not saying digital media is all bad. Like, it's Satan, he's coming back, it's an evil plot. I'm not saying that at all. I use digital media myself, and it's got its perks. For one, it saves a lot of physical space. There's not like stacks of discs cluttering up your room. So that's also nice. And a lot of stuff is also available instantly. You can download a game or stream a movie in minutes, which is super convenient. Although streaming quality of movies can be quite low and bad sometimes, but compared to Blu-ray. But I use Steam a lot myself. I'll buy games on there that I enjoy or I want to try to support the game devs if I like them. Companies like Rockstar, Blizzard, and EA, they're greedy as fuck though. But anyways, I get why people like digital media, but there's a catch, and it's a big one. With digital, and this is the big one that I hate, you don't really own anything. You're kind of renting it, even if you paid full price. More on that later in the video, though. I want to touch up on why I'm a big in-person physical media enjoyer, Chad. Once you've got it, it's yours. It's done. No one can take it away from you unless you lose it or you give it away yourself. I love that about physical stuff, especially gaming consoles. If you've got a console and some physical game disc, you can do whatever you want with them. You can mod them, you can repair the console itself, take it apart, put something new in it, mess around with them. It's all up to you. The Wii, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox has software that can all be modded, like the Xbox 360 and the original. And you can also still play games even when the internet is out. Compare these pros to digital media, though, where you're at the mercy of account bans or some company losing the license to a game or a show. One day it's there, the next it's gone. Even though you paid for it or we're in the middle of watching it. It reminds me of the original Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on Steam. They removed the original version because it was cheap, and then they put out the definitive edition, so you had to buy the defective edition instead of the original. It was full of glitches. It didn't look the same. Half the mechanics didn't even work properly, and it's because companies are fucking greedy. It also reminds me of the show Mad Men on Netflix, which they took off 5 years ago, according to Google. What a shame. It was a great show. It still is. It really is. Now you have to actively find it and go look for a subscription. Like, I just read online. It's on AMC Plus. Like, fuck, this shit is annoying, dude. Now you have another subscription. Yay! I don't like saving money. Yay, more money spent. Hopefully it doesn't get pulled again, Surprise, surprise, though, it will eventually, because they need to put on a show about transgenderism or something like that on there. Anyways, back to physical media and why I like it, though. With physical media, you don't have to worry about some silly terms of service getting in the way or the show or the game being delisted for whatever reason. You own it, plain and simple. No one's revoking your rights to your favorite game because of something dumb like an online account because you called someone a slur. Now your whole entire account is banned and you can't play the games you paid for. Reminds me of the old COD MW2 lobbies. Man, those were the days. Some guy with a shitty Bluetooth speaker on just calling you every name under the sun because you killed him. Words I can't say on YouTube. You all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, speaking of bans and not really owning things, let's talk about ownership with gaming for a minute. Like I just kind of mentioned with GTA San Andreas, because you don't actually own anything, unfortunately, with digital copies. If you got a PC, you're in a much better spot than console specifically in this regard. But when you buy a game for your PC, especially a physical copy, it's yours. You install it, it's on your computer, it's in your home, and legally, no one can take it away. Even if it's a digital purchase through something like Steam, it's still stored on your machine, under your control to an extent. Consoles, though, is a bit trickier, especially the newer ones. Take the PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, for example. When you buy one, you're not really buying the software. You're buying a device that's allowed to run specific games, all tied to the company's system. If Sony or Microsoft loses the license to a game, or if you get banned, you could lose access to the stuff you paid for. So you might own the console itself, like the physical shell, but the software never really leaves their domain. It's like you're agreeing to borrow it when you buy it. Older consoles like the PS2 or PS3 weren't like that. You had the disc and you owned the game. End of story. You didn't lose your whole entire account and all of your games because you decided to be spicy and say the gamer word on COD. All right. So, anyways, speaking of older consoles, let's talk about modding them, because that's something I enjoy a lot. And it's pretty tough nowadays when your console can be remotely shut off with all the newer stuff. Back in the day, though, you could do so much with something like a PlayStation 2, for example. You could slap a hard drive in there and run an HDD with all your games loaded on there in case your disc reader broke. With PlayStation 2s, the lasers break a lot on them. But yeah, you could slap the hard drive in there. You could use Free McBoot to run all kinds of homebrew, take it apart, replace it with parts. It's awesome. Consoles felt a little bit more personal, like they were yours to play with. Nowadays, though, good luck with that, because modding a modern console is a massive headache. Companies like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, they've taken a lot more preventable measures. So you can't really do that anymore. Well, you can to an extent. It's just a lot harder. Try modding a PlayStation 5 and you'll be risking your account, or even worse, they could remotely lock the whole entire console. Like, you paid for it, now you can't even use it. I've heard of PS5s being bricked because of doing stuff like that, and it's a long ways from the freedom that we used to have. Another thing I love about older consoles is how reliable they can be. Like, we've still got Wii's and PlayStation 2s running. Those came out almost 20 years ago. PlayStation 2 came out 20 years ago. I still have my PlayStation 4. And I mean, I haven't turned it on in a couple of years, but that thing's a beast. And I've had it for over a decade with zero issues. I used to have a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 2, and I regret selling them because they were just as solid. Recently, though, I just picked up a Wii, and it works like a charm. I'm even thinking about filming myself playing Wii Sports while being critical of Israel in the background, because I'd probably be the first YouTuber to play Wii Sports and talk about the infiltration of our government while playing Wii Baseball. But yeah, anyways, not every console was perfect, though. Nostalgia, rose-tinted glasses, all that stuff. The Xbox 360 comes to mind. And I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, it was a great console, but the biggest issue was poor quality control, especially with the Red Ring of Death issue. And sometimes your games could even get locked in the system because the disc reader wouldn't open. To be fair, that also happened with the PlayStation 2. But the Xbox did give us a lot of great games. Gears of War, Halo, stuff like that, Left 4 Dead. Great games, great console. But yeah, Red Ring of Death kind of ruined everything. I've heard of people who went through 2 or 3 Xbox 360s, but Nintendo stuff from that era, like the Wii, were top notch. The GameCube, still a super solid one as well. Super reliable. Man, I miss those days. But yeah, back to digital purchases for a second. Here's the thing. You can buy a game digitally, download it, and think it's yours. But if you get banned, like I've been saying, for say something as petty as saying the gamer word in the game chat, your whole game library could vanish. You worked hard for that money. You have a job. You do what you're supposed to do. You legitimately paid for those games, and they can just yoink, take them away. It's actual bullshit. It's like, oh, you broke our rules. No more games for you. Meanwhile, they keep your money. They don't refund you. They don't give you your money back. They keep it. It's greedy. It's fucking greedy, and it's low-key kind of theft. And it makes me wonder why more people aren't upset about it. But, oh, you agreed upon it in the terms and conditions, actually. Yeah, whatever. No one reads that because you make it hard and very long, full of text and obfuscating on purpose. Yet again, though, this is where physical media wins. If you've got a physical disc, no one's touching it. It's yours. It's safe. It's sound. Assuming you have an old console and aren't console banned or something. You also can't play a lot of digital games if your internet is turned off. Even if you bought it and it's like a single player game, it doesn't even need the internet. That kind of ruins the point of even buying the game in the first place. So now with the whole streaming services, digital stuff, I want to talk about streaming, not just gaming. And how in some ways, I honestly think it's getting worse than cable just by being more expensive. I personally use neither of these. I don't have a single streaming or membership to anything. But anyways, the streaming services are convenient, but they're also a pain in the ass. We kind of talked about this earlier. Like when you walk into Netflix, you're excited to watch something you read about online, only to find out it's been rotated out of the library. And it sucks when that happens. Streaming's starting to feel like cable TV again from back in the day, where you pay a fee every month, you pay the bill, but you don't control what's available. Stuff comes and goes. And if you want everything, you're stuck subscribing to a bunch of services, like 4 or 5, even more. At that point, it's more expensive than cable was. It's kind of a scam. Paying for the media you don't even want to watch. That's why I still have some DVDs and Blu-rays. If I want to watch something, I pop it into the DVD player, and it's right there. Right now, I've got the Godfather series, Happy Gilmore, 30 Days of Night, Wolf of Wall Street, Kingdom of Heaven, No Country for Old Men, and Coal Miner's Daughter. I love all of these movies except for Wolf of Wall Street, to be honest. The main character, Jordan Belfort, he just kind of disgusts me, to be honest. But I know that's really what the movie is trying to do, but I digress. Here's another reason why I ditched Netflix, besides the fact that they removed shows and got really greedy with account user limits and the price increase, and also the ads. You used to pay $10 a month and get no ads. Now you pay more than that and still get ads. But anyways, a while back, maybe 2017 or 2018, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but Netflix put a movie out, and it was called Cuties. It was awful. They were sexualizing little girls, and I couldn't stomach that. I couldn't give my money to a company that did that. The day I found out, I called Netflix and I canceled my subscription. And I called instead of just canceling it online because I wanted to tell them the reason why. And I told the customer service representative why. And I said it was because Netflix was putting out pedophile adjacent shows. And it was gross. I also made sure to tell her I'm not yelling at her specifically. And I know that stuff is way above her head. Not trying to be a Karen to random service workers. But yeah, she actually agreed with me, and she said she didn't like it either. And she might cancel her own subscription. That's how bad it was. ever since, I've been way pickier about what companies I give my money to, and I've kind of gotten into physical media to avoid giving my money to companies like that as well. But the worst part of physical media is finding it. So where do you get physical media then? Here's a tip from me personally: go to Goodwill. Thrift stores are pretty good for old games, old consoles, DVD players, movies, all of that kind of stuff. And generally, it's much cheaper than Amazon or eBay. Now, you don't have the choice of selection there like you do on Amazon or eBay, but it's still a good place to go bargain hunting, really. Buying online can be a ripoff sometimes. Like I just said earlier, the movies I just got Kingdom of Heaven on DVD from Amazon, and it was $20. It's $20 for an old movie from 2005. I love the movie though, so I paid for it, but it's still way too much. Goodwill's a better bet personally if you can find something you like there. Plus, it's cheaper and you're keeping money local. Keeping your money local is a pretty big deal. Oh, you should do that more. But lots of stores like shopping malls and GameStop can, even if they're a big, let's say, corporate kind of entity, you still keep your money local, because if the place isn't there anymore, then guys don't have a job. You don't have those services anymore. But yeah, those kinds of places, shopping malls, GameStop, stuff like that, it's also a bygone era of the physical media times. Personally, I'm big on physical media. I've got a bookshelf stuffed with books, DVDs, and some games. The shelf is a cheap Amazon one that I bought that's falling apart, so I'm planning to get a solid one from the Amish people that live not too far away from me next time. So no more flimsy stuff, because I have a lot of physical media to hold. I think that kind of stuff also looks nice to have around personally. I know a lot of people don't, but I like seeing collections of stuff. I don't buy physical copies of everything I own, but for stuff I really love, I make sure to grab it. So right now, I'm looking for a good PlayStation 2. I've already got SOCOM 1 and 2. That's, man, classic games. Those games got me into the military as a kid. Really did. I also really liked Sly Cooper, Lego Star Wars, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Having them physically means I can always go back to them. So this talk of modern tech, though, and some of its fake and gay limitations also reminds me of something else. And it's kind of unrelated, but AirPods. They're terrible. When I had an iPhone, I went through 3 pairs of AirPods in a year. They're $150 for a pair of AirPods. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous price, and they break all the time. It's planned obsolescence. They're built to break, so you'll buy more. Companies that do that, fuck them. But compare these AirPods to the old wired Apple headphones that I used as a kid personally. Those things lasted for years, and now everything's digital. It's fragile, and companies can even disable your stuff remotely if they want. And I think personally, it's about control, and it's not in our favor. But yeah, that's really the core of it, is ownership. In a digital world, we're losing what it means to own something. Buy a digital game or a movie, and most of the time, it's just a license, to be honest with you, and it's one that they can yank away at any time. It's renting with extra steps, and you agreed to it when you accepted the terms and conditions. Super long, it's obfuscating, no one reads it, and that's how they get away with it. Physical media, though, it's real ownership, and no one's pulling it out from under you. It's freedom, and we're letting it slip away. I'm not against digital, guys. It's got its uses, but we can't ignore what we're giving up here. Digital's convenient, and there's no doubt about it. There's instant access, it's real portable, stuff like that. It's great, but you lose control, and physical media gives you that control, even if it's less convenient. You've got to store it, track it down, whatever. For me, though, the trade-off's worth it. I like knowing that my stuff is mine, that I fucking paid for, right? So that's why I think owning physical media matters. It's about control, it's about ownership, and it's about sticking it to the system. The one that says, from the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and you will be happy. What kind of bullshit is that? And if you're into it, I think you should do this. Physical media, and also support local stores, Goodwills, and hell, even GameStop sometimes, because sometimes the deals can be better than online, and it keeps money in your community as well. It's a win-win. Like I got SOCOM brand new in the box. I think on eBay it was like $12, but I did find it at GameStop for like $5. So it can be cheaper sometimes. But if all else fails, well, we can always hit the high seas and go sailing, if you catch my drift. All right, guys. That's all from me today. I just wanted to clarify the importance of physical media and ownership. Jimmy Talks out.